Hi there, thanks for joining me today. I just finished sewing the signatures into Miss Ada Jane. And where is she, in case someone's new here? Oh, in case someone's new here, welcome. I'm Catherine. I make journals out of old books. So, and she's been fondly referred to as Ada Jane. So, so these are all sewn in. I'm going to put things back in my little signature sewing tin. Oh, come on, open up. Doesn't want to open up. There we go. All right. In and in. So cute. There we go. Oh, I shouldn't have put that away. I'm not done. Where is it? Oh, there it is. These need to come off. There. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. My cold gets better and better every day. I think I'm like day 3 of no cold medicine. So for me, that's great. I hate a plugged nose. Hate it. I have been known in the past to get myself addicted to nose spray. I love nose spray, but it's so highly addictive. And I find the older I am now, the more easily addicted I get to it. Used to be I could use it for like the whole week I had a cold and then have no problem discontinuing the use. And now, oh my goodness, I feel like even if I use it once, my nose just wants nose spray in order to stay breathable. So it's just easier for me to take a oral decongestant and wean myself off of that instead. So we are all ready. I do like to glue down the back where the signatures have been sewn, and I use if the paper is good, and this paper is that's not Miss Ada. I'm going to pause and find it. Found it. You know what? I think I can see my elbow. There. That's better. When the paper is in decent condition, it's the best thing to use because it's already the right size to glue down. So I get out my blocks because quite often for something like this I will use a napkin holder. And do you think I can find my napkin holder after doing my massive cleanup? But that's why bricks. Now I can see here. I think you know what? I'm going to pause and get my camera sorted out. My camera crane. All right. Hopefully that's good. Bricks are harder to lose than a napkin holder. So that's always handy to have. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick I use in the event that, I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but sometimes you think you have pulled and pulled and pulled your threads taut, only to find out that one of them is really loose and wonky. And if that's the case, it's not too late. You can still tighten them up. So what I usually do is get out my tweezers and I just give a little tug back here to pull them even tighter. So it'll seem loose, but then you'll see how much give there still is, even though I have pulled and yanked and held it down while I glued it. I don't know if you can see how those are all still loose. Here's what you do. You get out your whatever glue you're going to use. For this, I prefer to use an acetone-based glue, but you can use PVA. I know our beloved Nick the Booksmith. She uses PVA at this step, and then just glue in between and make sure you get it in where all those threads are. This is not going to be seen. There's still some threads from where I've trimmed. Get those edges. Then, hopefully you've got silicone makeup brushes. Mush it down. And see how those loops get glued right down? You got to work quickly because once you've mushed it, that acetone will want to dry quite quickly. And then lay this down approximately in the center. Doesn't need to be perfect. And see what I mean? How it's the perfect length. Give that a good push down there. And then here's another little thing I do. Give it another push down. Get your bone folder or a ruler will work. Go along in between your signatures. So see how there's the fabric, and give that a good, just make sure it's well applied to the paper, and you're good to go. And then right here. Excellent. I'm just going to put some paper down. And glue my fabric. I'm actually not putting a lot on. I have the bottle really squeezed to the... Where'd my brush go? There it is. Really applied. There we go. That's good. Let go, let go. Thank you. Little books are so nice. Sewing in the signatures is very nice and quick, as opposed to when you do a great big huge book that has like 13 or 15 signatures. On the other hand, don't let that overwhelm you if you ever want to give that a go. It's just tedious. It's not any harder. So don't let that, don't think, oh, I don't want to do 15. It's just easier to do 5 big fat ones. I don't think it is easier, because to try and get a needle through a really fat signature is so much harder than getting your needle through a 4-folio signature. I think that much easier. There we go. Just going to give that a wipe. There. Ta-da! And then I give that a fold. And then I also, especially if it was a bigger book, I would give this, just gently encourage that new text block to have a bit of a curve to the spine part. There we go. And then by pinching along here, those little shoulders will fit right into your grooves really nicely, like so. Here's where, if you wanted to, it can look really nice, especially if you've used like muslin, an ivory colored muslin or tea dyed, to fray this even more and leave that fabric sticking up like that. That can look really cool. I'm not going to do that this time. I want it folded back. So I'm going to, first I'm going to do my little John Hancock on the spine. Pen. Ta-da! And the year. Most likely no one will ever see that there, but you never know. Now, what I do next is I sort of take a look. This part is going to get folded back at the head and foot of the book, and I just like to see where it's going to lie when I do that, for when I put in the end papers. Okay. I'm going to flip that back. Now here's where, and I've walked you through this before, but let's do it again, since, you know, the whole point of what I do on my videos is I just bring you along on my desk as I work, is you can fold your fabric all the way over and glue it down. Nick the Booksmith simply trims it all. I do half and half. So what I do is I slightly angle to where it's going to get folded down. Let's do that one next. And this isn't, again, don't panic too much if you're new to this and you haven't tried this part yet. It's quite forgiving. If need be, you can just trim it all off the way Nick the Booksmith does. She usually doesn't fold it at all. but folding it doesn't take too much longer. Some people will trim the paper at an angle and then still fold the fabric over, which is nice. I don't bother. Like I said, one of my main goals is I like a really floppy text block inside my cover. Let's do these first. There. I don't know why I was doing it the other way. I usually start this way. There we go. And then just ever so slightly angle it out so that it blends. It will eventually blend underneath your end papers. There we go. Where's my bricks? This glue. Let's see if we can use it. Yeah, there we go. Didn't go to waste. And then that just gives you a nice little finished edges here at the head and foot. There. Now I need a Kleenex. Clean that up. Good. Now is the time if you were going to put a ribbon bookmark in, you would do that now. Or if you were going to put a little bit of lace along there, now's the time to do that as well. I'm thinking about whether I want to or not, and I think I might. Let's take a, I've done that in the past. Glued a book in, a text block in upside down. Have you ever done that? Oh. Fortunately, it's not the end of the road, but it's frustrating. So she would go in there like that, although that looks really nice and neat. What's on there? There we go. I've got lace here. There's lace here. There probably will be some lace at the top. I think I'm just going to leave that looking nice and neat and tidy and just leave it be. So I think, I don't think I will be putting any lace at the head and the foot. But let's do a little bit of work in here before we glue it in. I put some, this is 1940s wallpaper in here, and I want to make a pocket. So I'm going to find a circle punch to make a little notch. Now it's not quite even, so I am going to even that up. And I am thinking I want a larger notch. going to use this one. And I think sometimes I just want a notch on one side. I think I want the notch to be on both sides. And since that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and glue it together first. I could leave this open. I think it's kind of cool to show that it's old wallpaper where it says handmade border. That's pretty cool, but my intention is a pocket, so a floppy pocket. So let's just do that. Now, since it's 1940s, I didn't check and see. Hopefully it's not pre-pasted. It used to be, time was that you had to lay out your wallpaper, paste it, and then put it up on your walls. So hopefully there's no paste on that. There we go. Let's put my little pin back in here. Good. I'm going to come back and notch that. Now, somewhere in one of these is an envelope that I opened up. That turned out nice. That's the little needle booklet that I put paper in instead for journaling inside. I like how that turned out. All right, where are you, little? There it is. So I opened it up. You can soak these open, but I find if you're careful and you use a craft knife or an X-Acto knife, it really won't matter if the insides tear a little bit, as long as you don't tear this important one that's going to cover up, because it's going to be glued back together again. It will never be seen that those got a bit torn when I took it apart. No one will ever be the wiser except those of us who watch this video. So I'm just going to put a little glue along there. And there. I think I took that glue up too high. Thank goodness it's art glitter glue and it's not shiny. I should just remember where they put the glue originally. I just want it out to there, that's all. There we go. Oh, see, I did that. I didn't take my own advice and just follow where they originally had the glue. But it's not the end of the world. Again, art glitter glue, thank goodness. So that's good, and that's our little flippy floppy envelope that got put in. So that's by using a ready-made envelope. You can also fold your own envelopes out of pretty paper, and that's fun too, or out of like fun paper, like this. These pages out of Sears Roebuck catalogs make fun envelopes. Envelopes made out of the page of the book are fun. There's lots of options for envelopes. All right, I am going to go back and find our little floppy envelope. Oh, there's where I trimmed it up. And we will now, I'm just going to eyeball where the center is and do a little notch. There we go. And then we'll eventually put a journaling card in there. That turned out nice. Very pretty. Very good. All right, my little tabs there are still going to come in handy. I still count on them and depend on them to make sure that I have balance when I'm when I intend to decorate a journal instead of it being a naked or nearly naked journal. So now I'm going to make sure she's saddled in there nice and even. Oh, she moved. Don't be moving, Ada Jane. This is your new home. There we go. And I usually do the back first. Now, if you remember the last time we were together and I glued a text block into a cover, I didn't like how I did it. I did it too loose, but it wasn't the end of the world. We were able to go back in and fix it. So this time I'm going to tilt it a bit and run a little stream of glue just inside that shoulder. Again, I'm using Fabri-Tac, but I think just about any glue would do fine for this part of it. You know, any kind of PVA or white glue. Be careful at this stage that you don't get glue onto the back page of your text block. And that you didn't slide it at any point. Now I usually, again, will use my bone folder in there. Better make sure I don't, okay, good. It's not in upside down. Check beforehand. Don't do like I do and check afterwards. And then you just do the same thing here. This side is a little more forgiving. You can tilt a little bit more. And sorry, I've just got a bubble of glue there. There we go. I'm just going to run a little thin strip just in that hinge so I don't have it too loosey-goosey. There we go. Let's make sure she looks beautiful. Very nice. And I shouldn't have done that in case there was glue there. So while she's drying, I'm just going to put a piece of paper there. Piece of paper here. And I'll get her end papers. So this is going to be her end papers. I love the burgundy there. Will look nice. You know what? I do want to see if this is, again, one of those times where I'll use one of the pages to measure how big I want my end papers to be. And that is good. Let's see the back one. Check them both. They can be different depending on whether the text block originally was laid down symmetrically or a little bit cockeyed. No, those will both be good. All right, so I can tear off another page out of the old text block and use it as my template. I'm going to flip it over because the other side is a little bit easier for my pencil marks. And I like to give myself a little bit more room so that I would rather trim it if it's too long than cut them too short and not be able to use the papers. There we go. Oh, we're at 31 minutes. All right, I'm going to save that. We can use that still in the book, which is nice. I'm going to look for my little notch that I made down there. And then I'm just going to double it up and do it again. And because it's a little too big, it's all right if it's not precise, because I'm still going to trim it after I lay it down and get a good look at it. And I'll put that to the side and maybe make some whale tail tabs. Don't know yet. Or maybe a ruffle. We'll see. Let's take a look at it before we go and see how it's going to look. So see how it's a little bit too long? I would just rather have that for now while I'm still eyeballing it. And because this is a raw edge now, it's just ever so slightly white, and that sort of thing bugs me. I will be inking that edge just very carefully, and so that it looks older. Here, let me move this back so that you can see what she will look like with her new end papers. Gee, I think that's going to look really nice, but I'm going to have to do this off camera because we're at 33 minutes. So thanks for joining me today. I think we got a lot done, which is more than I usually do. Pardon me. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. And hopefully we'll get together later on in the week or over the weekend. So take care, stay safe and healthy. Bye.